inflammation isn't random. It's a signal, a misfire, a body in panic. But when you feed it right, the fire comes, the cold rewrite. This is system reset. Gut like wire, skin like flame, joints on fire, no one to blame. Pills on pills, no roof, just mask, but the truth was hiding what's on my plate. Gluten, seed oil, oxalate, storm. I didn't break, I was misinformed. From spinach to grains to plant-based pride, I fed the flare, then wondered why. System reset, autoimmune off, me in fire, down, truth on. System reset, gut sealed, mind clean. No more noise, just red meat and peace. Crohn's, lupus, Hashimoto's rage, all of them linked to the same food cage. Zonal and rise, tight junctions break your gut, leaks fire with every plant-based plate. Lectins pierce, oxalates grind, the shield goes down, immune turns blind, but rabbi sealed it, bone broth healed it. The system wasn't broken, it just needed meat to feel it. You don't need another pill. You need a pause, a purge, a primal pattern. Remove the cause. Let the system rewire. Let the fire expire. This is your reset. System reset. Autoimmune off. Truth fed in. Inflammation stops. No kale, no flare. No guessing. Just meat, just care. System reset. I feel the shift. My sharp skin clear. No more drift. There's a system reset. Say it loud. Me. Heal. Cold.
Video that I sent you about that dude breaking down exactly what's in flour and why it fucks us up. Do you remember that video?
Explain to me why I can eat bread in Spain and I can eat Greece, Italy, no problem. Why I was gluten free in 15 years. I've been gluten free in Canada, America. Can't eat it.
That's because in America, what we call bread can't even be considered food in parts of Europe. See, here in America, it's not so much the gluten as what we've done to the grain. About 200 years ago, we started stripping the bran and germ, or the fiber and nutrients, to make flour shelf stable, also nutritionally dead. Because the nutrients were gone, we enriched it with folic acid, which a large majority of the population can't even metabolize. Therefore, many people experience fatigue, anxiety, hyperactivity, and inflammation. But then the bread wasn't white enough, so they bleached it with chlorine gas, and the bread didn't rise enough, so they added a carcinogen called potassium bromate, which is banned in several countries like Europe, the UK, and even China. Then we wanted to ramp up production, so we started using glyphosate to dry out the wheat before harvest, causing endocrine disruption and damaging your gut. So now you're bloated, brain fogged, tired, and blame gluten, but gluten is just the scapegoat. The real issue is ultra-processed, chemically altered, bleached, bromated, fake vitamin-filled wheat soaked in glyphosate. This isn't bread. This is.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hey, isn't that great?
There you are.
How's the sound, buddy? How's the sound?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I could see your lips moving, but I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
I got excited. Well, today we're going to be talking about, are we sick by design? And in my opinion, and I think in yours too, where they are lying to us about obesity, cancer, all that stuff.
Oh,
We're waiting
man.
for Peter, but today, we're doing this a little late. Welcome, everybody.
Else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking.
We had a little time zone difficulty today. We had an issue. Apparently, the world is not in sync with the times. Europe and the UK and Ireland, they put their clocks back, and in Canada, we did not. So I think it's a North American thing. And welcome everybody into the meat of the matter. We are waiting for Peter. Hopefully, he'll be joining us soon. And as always, we'd like to thank Byron Funk for doing that beautiful intro. We love him. He helps us out with the music. Go support him on Carnivore Beats YT on YouTube and on Carnivore Beats on TikTok. And also the carnivore community, guys, is lighting up. So if you are new to the carnivore space, if you're just curious, if you are a seasoned veteran, go join the carnivore community worldwide. They are on YouTube and on Instagram, and they're fun. The Carnivore Village. It's lighting up. There's so much action going on, and Mark's directly a part of it. Peter and I have been guests and make appearances from time to time on it, and it's just this movement, which is going to tie into what we do, what we're talking about today, guys, because there's some shenanigans going on in the world, not like they haven't happened before, but it seems to be they're ramping up. And something specifically from Dr. Baker, which he's been getting kind of a lot of heat lately. And I think it's time we all sit back and really support this guy, because he's trying to do good things. We know it, but apparently the world doesn't. And so firstly, guys, well, good evening, later evening. How's that time zone working out for you? You got a little mixed up. I remember last time when the seasons changed, we kind of got twisted up. So we caught it a little bit better today. I was sitting here for an hour going, where are they? What's going on?
Yeah, this goes on now till I think this goes on till around March, doesn't it, Peter? Something like that. February, March.
I think so. Yeah, I don't keep track of it.
We catch up next month. So I don't know when. But so for the meantime, guys, we're going to be probably 11 a.m. in North America. Well, it's 2-1, so we kind of have to go with the boys. And it's all good for an hour later on my end in the morning. It doesn't matter. So anyway, guys, so, we're going to get into this show is about they're lying to us. We know it. We know it pure and simple. And Mark sent me a couple of videos this week that, we're going to get into the whole lies about now they're trying to tie obesity into cancer. And, these drugs are popping up now for, there's even more reason to take them.
And now we have another influencer in the world who's saying that we can actually eat carbohydrates to lower your blood sugar.
We've got that lined up too.
I'm really looking forward to having that conversation.
Very surprised. So you know what? We're going to just get right into it. Peter, today we're going to talk about these drugs. And I believe, like our thumbnail said, I think it's by design. We are sick. They want us unhealthy, and it's clear. Now, just warming up this little clip, we know now with the Eat Lancet report that we talked about a couple weeks ago, Sean Baker was number one on the hit list for them, saying that he was a misinformation guy. Also, which is really, it's kind of sad in my heart. I'm a fan of his. I know he's a bit of a dick. I'm a left person right is 6 to 12. I don't know if my volume might be a little bit loud. Is my volume loud, guys?
Yeah, it's okay. I can hear you perfect.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, here it's about equal, but maybe for the viewers it's different.
Maybe. Okay. But levels from, let's see here. What is it saying? Levels from the left person to right, 6, 8, 12. I might be just really loud, so I'll just turn down a bit here. Sorry, guys. I know.
Well, you are the left person.
I know
Ron,
it's
so-
like on screen. Right? So, anyway, I've started a new sort of studio in my house. It might be a little echoey, so I'll try and keep my voice down. So anyway, Sean Baker. This is the crazy thing. Is yes, Dr. Jack Kruse, who I'm a fan of. He's a bit of a dick. He's a bit of a he seems to think light is a little bit more important than nutrition. Fair enough. But then he went out and attacked Sean Baker, and then Sean Baker came out with this, which is very, very interesting, how he is so against it. So we'll play it, and then we'll talk about it. And apologies to everybody if the volume's a little out of whack. We're trying here. Okay, here we go.
All right, how stupid do they think we are? So recently, a new panel has come out to recommend changes in the way we define obesity, the so-called Lancet Foundation for Diabetes and Endocrinology. And this is supposed to be a independent panel free of influence that defines obesity in a new way. We've been using BMI for damn near 100 years, and it's always been BMI 30 equals obese. Now, there are problems with that, no doubt, but they've redefined it using body fat distribution, and now they say that instead of 40% of Americans being obese, we now have 70% of Americans are now obese. And guess what that means? Well, the panelists, the chairman of the panel, and 20 plus members of this panel all receive funding from Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, AstraZeneca, all these weight loss drugs. And why do you think they want to broaden the definition of obesity now after using BMI for 100 years? Why could that be? I wonder what it is. Could it be the fact that they have a, $1 trillion drug they want to sell? Nah, it couldn't be that, right? Anyway, you guys wake the F up, man. This is absolutely insane. All of these medical indications are changing so they can sell more drugs. That's all it is, guys. All right, how stupid do they think we are? So
You couldn't make this shit up, could you?
No, there's
You
so
really
many.
couldn't. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And Mark, like, firstly, how? I hope people, Jesus said, ears to hear, eyes to see. It's right out in front of us. It's every day there's something. It's just this big push on nonsense, and now they're redefining it. Like we saw it in the pandemic when they they redefined what a certain thing was in order to suit their narrative. And this I believe is the same kind of thing. Now they're instilling more fear already. Just look around. In my opinion, you look around, you know there's an obesity problem. Do we have to define it more? That's the scariest part of it. And these drugs are, they won't go away, Mark.
No. And see, nobody's talking about this, Tony, apart from us, because everybody's just convinced that it's just this wonder drug. This is going to solve all your problems, but you're still allowed to eat shit. You can still drink alcohol. You can still eat this crap in moderation. That's not the problem here. So don't worry about what you're putting in your mouth. That's not causing your obesity. It's just genetic. It's just a disease. Honestly, it's crazy. It really is. It's crazy how people are not questioning this. I mean, you say it all the time, Tony. We should be questioning more stuff. I mean, this is what we should be getting in people's heads. You should be going out and you should be questioning, why do I need to take this injection to lose weight? Simple.
Well, you could be questioning to go back a little bit further than that, like questioning why you're obese in the first place.
Yeah.
That's probably the underlying thing is more excuses, more, don't worry, we got you. It's wild because, like, Peter, I don't know what your take on this is. It seems like they're celebrating obesity more in the mainstream in Hollywood, and yet they're telling you to take a drug. And then we had that clip with Serena Williams and all the celebrities. Peter, what do you think?
Well, I think it's focused on symptomology, and doctors have the same problem as us patients by now, and that is that we are not able to look back and forward. So we don't look at the history, what has happened that caused all this obesity on a population level, but also from person to person. And the same is for doctors. They won't look at why did this patient become obese, or did he develop any other diseases and things that might contribute to it. Now they will just give this drug and they won't focus on the diet. that sort of things.
Yeah.
And on an even bigger level, we are no longer able to look at the further history, like what did we eat 10,000 years ago? And what about evolution? And yeah, what has changed the last 100 years?
Yeah, you just have to look around, and you know, as much as I want to understand the science and understand all this shit, it's not fucking rocket science. It's just look around and you'll see what's going on. And I'm sorry, but if you really think that a lifestyle, because that's what they're doing, they're shifting this from maybe a moderate intervention for diabetes into a lifestyle drug. This is clear. It's a clear path towards these drugs. The more we push back against them, the more they double down. And we're going to get into this clip in a second about, oh, look, let's multitask these drugs now. And it's like, holy shit. If you want to be on lifestyle medications, that's a choice you're going to have to make. But
and it's funny, by the way, that the doctors will themselves tell about all the side effects and the reasons why you shouldn't take those drugs in the first place. That you'll get this Ozempic phase and muscle ache. Well, muscle aches, no, that's maybe just for statins. But also when you stop the medicine, you'll get withdrawal effects and that sort of things. And if you ask the doctor, they will confirm this. So they are confirming that this is apparently a lifelong medicine that you have to take, a drug. And yeah, and for the rest, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah. And what really burns me is heroes, like, in my opinion, heroes like Dr. Sean Baker. They're necessary in our space. They're necessary. And the people that know aren't the problem. Like, we know this. Like, everybody that's in the chats, I know that they're all savvy and they know what's going on. But it's the people that don't. And the message that puts across, like, okay, we're going to change the BMI index. We're going to change the obesity. Like, okay, if that statistic was true, it's clear they've just changed they've moved the goalposts.
But see, BMI is absolutely useless. I can tell you now it's useless because my BMI is around 22, 23 at the moment.
Mine is probably 26.
I'm obese too, right?
You know what I mean? So I mean, if that's the case, I'm classed as obese. So BMI has been worthless for years. It's never been a true metric. The same with the weighing scales. The weighing scales is only a bleeding tool. Everybody's focused on the weighing scales nowadays. Nobody's focused on how you look. It's like I hear this all the time, Tony. When I'm talking to clients, they'll tell me all these amazing benefits that they reverse their type 2, they've lost weight, they can see their clothes getting too big on them, but they'll always say to me, "Mark, I haven't lost any weight. The scales hasn't moved." And I'm like, do you not understand what you just said to me? You're after saying so many positives to me, and now you're focused too much on this number on the scales. This is where we're going at the moment. Okay. This diet culture has literally ruined people. And what will happen is when this Ozempic gets faded out, they'll come up with another solution in the next 5 or 10 years. They always do.
Okay.
As a Dutchman, I just want to intermit that the BMI is also called the Ketelet index, and it's Belgium. And if it's Belgium, well, it's that you shouldn't follow it.
So apparently we're still having volume issues. I don't know what's going on. Might be me because I'm in a new place. But if it is, we apologize. We're not pros. We're trying. So, I don't know. It just seems like there's always something that they're doing to push the narrative. And the narrative seems to be, like once you see it, there's always this fallback. Yeah, buts. And I'll tell you, man, like, we need to start going back to, like, not only back to basics, like most of us have this idea of an ancestral, natural human, but look around. All you need to do is look around. If you think that there's a problem, you might want to address it. And, who benefits from these drugs? Who benefits from them changing these narratives, changing these definitions? Not you.
No.
Ever. Right. And then, the people that do this, I don't know how we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. And we're the heretics. We're the zealots. And, like we're in this position now where even God forbid my country, these bills pass, we could be a police state by I'm not going to start there, but we could be a police state by Christmas. I might be a misinformation distributor worse than I have been. And I mean, we all joke about it. Instagram loves me. And I don't know, man.
But isn't it amazing? They're all glorifying these injections. It's all over social media. It's all over TV. But they'll never mention the people that are struggling, or the people that were on these Ozempics and they struggled. And I mean, we only had Krista on a few months ago. There's a lady in my country that actually died taking Ozempic 2 years ago. I did a video on it. It didn't blow up. I was just told that she's just one out of a million. It doesn't happen to everybody. I mean, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck's going on? I hear it pretty much probably every couple of days. And people are coming on social media and saying like this Ozempic's after having a major side effect on me. And no, it doesn't blow up like you see on every other channel. They just glorify it. They say, okay, this is what you need. If you're struggling with your obesity, we don't know the solution. And that's the thing. That's the thing. What you see in the fitness industry is that, because we've all done the calorie counting, every single one of us. But if you can't lose weight on a low calorie diet, these influencers will say, well, this is how it works. Everything's based on the law of thermodynamics. So if you can't lose weight on a low calorie diet, then I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going wrong, because these people haven't got a fucking clue. Not a clue about food addiction. They haven't got a clue about how hormones work. It's just scary how we're relying on these people for weight loss solutions when they haven't got a clue. They only know how to put you into a starvation diet, and that's it.
Yeah, and Peter, like, this ties into managing type 1 diabetes from the medical system standpoint. It's like, that's what you have insulin for. Just match your insulin. You know, you're good. It doesn't matter what you eat. You just balance it with your insulin.
Yeah, sure. And that's a very bad idea, actually. And I'm going to talk about it briefly right now. But as a type 1 diabetic, you're injecting your insulin under your skin. And, well, hormone balance is mainly centered around insulin to glucagon ratio at the level of your liver. And insulin is produced near the liver in the pancreas. So you'll get a very large gradient there from the insulin concentration. So it's very high at the level of the liver. And us diabetics, we are injecting it elsewhere in the system, peripherally. And so insulin levels are high. And if we are going to also eat a lot, then we have to massively increase insulin levels in the system to reach the same insulin to glucagon ratio. And so all type 1 diabetics are already a little bit insulin resistant because of this. And if you eat a lot of sweets and continuously inject fast insulin, it's going to be a disaster. And I also noticed it. So you become, well, chubby is not the word, but you easily gain fat.
Yeah.
And, well, you see it also if somebody has type 2 diabetes, right? You can have these, I'm not sure if it's called nodules, but you can have places, at different places on the body where fat accumulates.
Yeah.
And it's even worse if you're injecting insulin, of course, because locally you'll see actually, if you do it a lot, that the fat is actually sort of condensing there.
And that's interesting because the body wants to protect itself, right? And it's that's a clear sign that it's, but they'll say, oh, it just happens. Oh, just change your injection site. It's okay. Right? That's the solution, right? It's pretty wild. So, and guys,
also maybe just to say one more thing about the Ozempic part. I think there's one group of people where you sort of could argue that maybe they should use a very, very little bit of Ozempic, and that is type 1 diabetics. Exactly for, well, maybe I'm not sure if it's exactly for this reason, but there is our hormones are not in balance, and we can really not do anything about that, because even I, on a low carb diet, I will still have this imbalance. So for me, insulin levels are never perfect because of this fact that I inject it in the system instead of in the portal vein near the liver. So And you see it that some type 1 diabetics take a little bit of Ozempic, and they seem to profit from it. But I don't do it. I still don't think it makes sense, especially if you are on a high carb diet, because you are injecting a lot of insulin and then compensating for it.
Yeah.
First go low carb, and if you have serious issues, who knows? But then we are talking about micro doses here, so it's totally different thing, and it's real medication.
You said something there, Peter. You're like, if you eat a high carb diet, you inject a lot of insulin. Well, if you eat a high carb diet and you're not type 1 diabetic, your body ejects a lot of insulin. Creates a lot of insulin. It's pretty weird.
And nobody sees it, because even those people in the morning, they will do a fasted insulin test, and it might show up perfect sometimes. And same story for low carbers. So there is this illusion maybe that we are low insulin people, and that's not necessarily the case. So if depending on how you eat and what your lifestyle is, insulin levels, and we should be happy, can go up also quite a bit during the day.
And now tying this into the injections, these drugs. Since I've been eating this way, there's no question in my mind. My mind has been alive. My ability to think is a little bit more clear. I think Brian from the Hunter-Gatherer Mindset coined it carnivore clarity. I love it because, we just seem to think a little differently when your brain's nourished. Go figure. And, every time it's funny how you can, once you start seeing these narratives, you can start to see the fallback narrative. So Mark posted a video this week that was very interesting to me, because this is the clear example, and we see it all the time between drugs losing their patent or whatever their time, becoming open market or whatever they're called, back shelf, whatever it is. But you see them start to really push a narrative. And this one is frightening, because what it showed me was all the people that are not able to do anything, or they're not thinking clearly. What this I think he's a doctor, says, just pay attention to the seed it plants. And we've all had our tough losses with cancer. Every single one of us, I'm sure, in the world. We've had videos striked, taken down, because we're talking about this stuff. Now look at what happens when they switch the narrative, or they do a sidetrack. They do a little sidestep. And now what this seed plants. So we'll get into this, and I think this is terrifying.
So I'm here in Berlin at the 50th European Congress on Medical Oncology, where they're very interested in GLP as a possible treatment for cancer. I'm trying to make the point that they should think of GLP to treat obesity in people who have cancer, and if it might help the cancer, that's a bonus.
Okay, just that little clip. Mark, I saw your comment on the top there. Brilliant. But you see where that could lead. Every single person that's a headline reader, a TikTok follower, God forbid you have 10 seconds of attention. What do you think that does? That right there was a campaign, a propaganda campaign to say, hey, if you have cancer, this may help you.
Yeah.
And
but when we come along, and none of us are doctors, we're just saying, like, okay, if any of us had cancer, I'm pretty sure all three of us would do the same thing. We'd probably go on a fast, starve the sugar out of the body, and let's see what happens. But don't do that. Don't go down the natural route. We have a better solution for you. Just inject yourself.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
And that's the only thing that you have to do oftentimes. That's also the thing,
Honestly, it's just.
And see, the biggest issue I have with that is that plants a seed. So now you're going to have a whole side of the world going, look, they're at this conference. It's like, it's all the scientists, it's all the doctors. They're working on this. Oh, this is it. That is giving somebody false hope. And who's the misinformation, disinformation campaign now?
Exactly.
It's absolutely like frightening that people are going to grab that and they're going to think just by that stupid 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Save your life.
And see, that's the reason why this video will never go global. I mean, this what we do today, this should be going global, so it goes up against this doctor, so people can make up their own minds. But it's never going to happen because they're not going to allow it. That's the problem. They're not. What we talk about right now. Like I said, none of us are doctors. This is just advice. We're just giving a different side of what this doctor's speaking about. At the end of the day, all three of us, well, I've always said that we're kind of experts when it comes to nutrition. And we're just saying that you should be questioning what you're putting into your body first before you actually go down this route. And if you're not doing this, why aren't you not doing it? None of us are saying that this is definitely the solution to you getting your cancer diagnosis. But I can tell you right now, it's a lot fucking better than injecting yourself for the rest of your life.
Did you guys hear anything about the supposed mechanism?
No.
Why is it that this thing could help?
And you notice, but that's a good point, Peter. But that's your mind working, which ties me into my next point about all of us. We became experts on ourselves, and then saw that sort of go. I mean, I help my clients take the power back. I want them to be empowered to learn about themselves. I'm not saying anything. Maybe this is true what this guy's saying. But when you look at what the reasons why they're doing it is nefarious and sinister. And you've done that, Peter, with type 1 diabetes. You had to take your own health under your own responsibility. Mark, I know you're past, same thing with me. And now, as soon as just learning about it for yourself and learning all sides. I mean, I'm not saying don't listen to doctors. I'm not saying don't listen, but for the most part, the information that they're preaching is they've only been taught. It's not them going through the ringers. Like, I mean, we've all joked about fat doctors. They're everywhere. You know, like, do you really want to get healthy from a guy who's not in shape, a guy who's suffering, or he's on lifestyle medications? Or would you rather hear from the hundreds, if not thousands, possibly millions of people that are reversing diseases and getting healthy by doing it holistically and naturally?
Can I just add one more point as well? This guy is a doctor. He lives in my country. This guy is always talking about people how to lose weight. This guy is actually on the GLP-1 injection.
Yeah, well,
he's actually on it. He's actually on it.
Walks the walk, I guess. Like, oh my
God. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It's just so. As I said, I'm pretty sure if you looked at this guy's diet, it would be absolutely horrendous. Yeah. But you look at him. This guy is younger than me, and he looks a lot older than me.
And you know,
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know.
With all this shit that's coming out, and man, I fear for the world, because I have a hard time believing most people, it's not really their fault, because they've been given information that has been completely manipulated and driven a certain way for the last 50 years. Because it's clear. All you have to do is say, look at the people, look at our great-grandparents, look at our grandparents, look at our parents, look at us. All you have to do. Remember when you were a child walking around the beach. Remember when you were a child. I mean, we're 50. Peter's a little younger, quite a bit younger. But I remember people didn't look like they do now. And that's the only indication you need. With a little bit of just observation, you can see that this is not working. And, you know, it blows my mind how it's just a hit piece when someone speaks out against it. It's not about let's listen to what they say. It's about what they're saying, and if it fits making money, and it's definitely not our money. You know, like, what are they doing? They're selling this drug on commercially in places. Like, I'm seeing advertisements for this shit. Yeah. Now what are they going to do? You know, we put heart healthy Cheerios. You know, Cheerios are healthy. Let's put it on the box. What are they going to start selling? Fuck Ozempic on cereal boxes? Like, don't worry about it. You get a few bowls of this shit. You just take a little drug. Don't worry. For the cost of a lifetime worth of cereal, you can be skinny. Oh my God, it's absolutely mind blowing.
Crazy.
And it just
what's so funny is that in the US, and I don't know about Canada, but there you will just openly get commercials for these medicine and all these things. In the US, in the EU, it's a bit different. It's not allowed to do these things here, and so there's not a lot of explicit promotion of these drugs. You'll find it maybe on social media sometimes and on Facebook, and people encouraging to use it. But those are usually the individuals most of the times. But what will happen? Yeah, that's this. It's already starting. That once it's commonplace in the US, we will just follow in the EU and countries like Italy, for example, maybe Ireland as well. There are a few countries in the EU that are very quick in following up with things that happen in the US, and the Netherlands is also one of them. Quite quickly, we will also have the same thing here, despite let's say the somewhat better regulations over here.
Yeah, I don't know when I saw it, but it was this compounding pharmacy that it was like this neon sign, and it was like this little go across sign, get your Ozempic here today. And it was like flashing and stuff. And I'm like, does this mean like no doctor required? And I'm like, I'm in Canada. This is kind of weird. But you know what? Now I'm seeing it in magazines. Like, you know, it's, you know, if it's not Ozempic, it's Wegovy. I don't know what the fucking laws are, but it's out of control, man. And it's so crazy. How's Lamb's a little messed up. Sorry about all the technical difficulties today, guys. We're Peter, you're perfect. I'm a bit low, so I'll turn up. I'll speak into the microphone. And Mark, you're a bit loud, so I don't know what's going on. But
okay,
Mark,
I'll see. Can I lower my volume down a little bit? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I'll lower it down a little bit. See if that's better.
I love it, Lisa. That's really free Ozempic with cornflakes. Like, yeah, that's what's coming. You know that's what's coming. You know, don't worry. We're gonna synthesize a powder that we'll put it in there. But like, just like what that guy. I don't know.
You have to eat cornflakes light, right? So low in fat. So just the carbs, really just the carbs.
And for all the people that are here, if they missed the pre-show today, I put a little clip in there about this guy. I'm not sure. I've seen him before. I'm not sure who he is, but he was describing bread, and he was describing how it is not bread, especially in North America. I mean, you guys in Europe might have a little bit of grief to this, but just what they do to fortification and storage and shelf stability, which I didn't know. I realize now is glyphosate is a desiccant, which is it dries the crops quicker for quicker turnover. Wild. And this is where we're at. You know, they've already done it. And now, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they start putting Ozempic in. Don't worry about it. This is Ozempic boosted Coca-Cola. Hey, don't worry about it. You drink all of this, you get a dose and it'll cancel out, right? Instead of just not drinking it, which is mind-blowing. So yeah, guys, it's crazy, man. And I don't think this shit is stopping, which is, you know, it's
too big, Tony. It's huge at the moment. It's huge. I mean, I remember watching the Super Bowl. I watched the halftime show on the Super Bowl, and every single second ads had Ozempic in it. I mean, you're going out to it. This show, it's watched by what, over 300 million people. I mean, that's what you're up against.
Yep. Halftime show brought to you by Novo Nordisk, right? Like, there you go.
I think at the same time we can be a bit hopeful, right? That the same we can say about carnivore, in my opinion, because if you look at Google search terms, vegan is going down and carnivore is still up. Yeah. And I mean, despite the few carnivores that are quitting, going on carbs, that I think that's also a good thing in a way. It brings up a bit of discussion. And what are we talking about? Just a little bit of carbs.
Wow.
I mean, many of them are still carnivore effectively. And so if it means that we get some nuanced discussion and bring it, maybe even actually by the fact that these carbs are added, maybe open it up to a wider public. Who knows if it goes in the right direction?
It's funny you say that, Peter, because we're gonna bring back a little clip, a little segment that we do from time to time, and this is Mark's little time in the time to shine here, because this is what drew me to Mark when I first started following him. his little rants, and yeah, we'll get into it. Peter, funny enough, you just hold that thought, buddy.
Yeah, unplanned.
These guys are getting richer while you're getting sicker. Write that down. 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 These foods are highly processed, complete garbage, and I can promise you now, I wouldn't even give it to my fucking dog. Write that down.
Well, this week on Write That Down, we're gonna just sidestep that comment that Peter just made, and we got somebody piping up about how they're necessary. Let's have a look.
But your body can make glucose from protein. Yes, through gluconeogenesis, which requires elevated cortisol and glucagon to break down amino acids. You're literally using stress hormones to manufacture the glucose you're not eating. That's not metabolic flexibility, that's metabolic stress. And chronic stress hormone elevation disrupts your sleep, suppresses your immune system, breaks down your muscle tissue, and makes you store fat even in a calorie deficit. But sure, keep bragging about how you don't need carbs.
Okay.
Holy
No
shit.
problem. That's wild, man. That's saying.
So I don't know if you guys have been watching this guy regularly. I have, but he's going on basically that you can eat carbs to lower your blood sugar. It can bring your A1C down. He's saying that when it comes to people struggling, it's all down to oxidative stress. This is what impacts your blood sugar. No, I'm not going to argue against any of this, but he needs to understand why these issues happen in the first place. I mean, this is what I hear all the time from women. They come to me because they're stressed out from undereating, overtraining. It's especially from the food. Now, the stress is going to come from the food that you're eating, because you guys know my story. I struggled with food for a very, very long time. I had an eating disorder for a very, very long time. And this is what we're currently seeing in the world at the moment. We're seeing a lot of stress based on people's food eating habits. And people are just convinced that it's just down to stress, but they're not saying why you have these elevated stress levels in the first place. Honestly, it's crazy. It really is. And see, the thing is, if you're an addict, if you're a carb addict, you're going to fight, you're going to do whatever it takes to convince people that you can eat carbohydrates. And this guy, he has an active lifestyle. Just go on to Google, you'll see what this guy does for a living. Okay? He goes on about Lisa Witterman and Dr. Kiltz. But the thing is, like, these people have always allowed these foods to stay in their diet. Like, Kiltz says this all the time. He has a glass of wine. He has ice cream. Lisa Witterman says the same thing. Over the years, she allowed alcohol to come in. This is the reason why people are still allowing these carbohydrates to come in. I can tell you now, I've been doing this now 5 years, right out straight. I have never allowed any carbohydrates to come back into my diet because I don't need them. I don't need them. So how can someone like me, who was a carb addict, really serious carb addict, have eliminated them full stop, and I feel even better without them? But he's convinced that you can feel great on carbohydrates and you can lose weight. Yes, you can.
Yes, feel great for just a moment.
A moment, yeah. Like, you're not going to feel great for the rest of your life. And he has to understand this, that not everybody is the same as you. Like it's just unbelievable. There's some people out there that can work on a building site and their energy expenditure is going to be up very, very high. So they're probably going to be able to burn off all this glucose. But you compare that to someone who sits at a desk all day. Are you going to say to me that that person is going to be the same as you? Come on. I mean, it's not rocket science. Come on.
I mean, I have to look at these things like from an ancestral perspective. And I mean, the chats are lighting up on Instagram right now. I can't really keep track of it because I can't multitask to save my life. We all know this. But yeah, Jonathan mentioned Anthony Chafee destroyed all his arguments there. And I think I know how, because what the hell would we have done without them?
Yeah.
And we've proven through historically and culturally, in the absence of carbohydrates, people were just fine. So that whole gluconeogenesis thing, I mean, in my opinion, in my perspective, this is a natural process. And I think with our modern day lifestyles and modern day growing up, we never tapped into gluconeogenesis or ketosis.
No.
But they're natural mechanisms. And I think a lot of people, they're mixed up. Like, it takes time to get back to where you're supposed to be naturally. And maybe it can cause some problems. Maybe I'm not saying what he said isn't true either, but these are natural mechanisms that are supposed to be used because they serve a purpose.
Yeah,
So,
I think Jonathan made a very nice video recently on Instagram talking about the fact that we shouldn't put these labels on these ideas. Like these hormones that he's talking about, they are stress hormones. Carbs are preferred fuel. And I cannot read that perfectly.
Jonathan laid down the law right there.
But that sort of
Better
things, and also ketones being a backup fuel, and so on and so on, and
Yeah.
you risk of indeed falling in the trap of the status quo and just using a status quo argument.
But see, he goes on a lot about insulin resistance. Now, I don't care what he says. You can be as insulin resistant as much as you like, but it's not if you're not putting carbohydrates into your body, your blood glucose levels are not going to go up. I don't care what he says. It really is as simple as that. So at the end of the day, insulin resistance is not the cause of type 2 diabetes or any diabetes. I don't care what he says. Me and Peter had this conversation in the past. The cause of diabetes is elevated blood sugar. Now, that only comes from when you're eating too many carbohydrates. Okay, now it may lead to insulin resistance eventually, but you need to understand how it's diagnosed. It's not diagnosed through insulin resistance. It's diagnosed through too much fucking carbohydrates that you're putting into your body, plain and simple. And this is where he's going wrong, because this guy is I've heard that he's a metabolic health coach. So this is that's scary to me.
He was in the movie Animal, I think. And he was a big, so I mean, I think he likes meat. I haven't heard too much about Zane Griggs, but when I first saw that, Mark, I thought it was an AI generated thing, because we got to be careful now with these deep fakes. And I mean, some of these it's just really weird. And I mean, I think everybody's like, we get caught up in all this bullshit when it's just think about what you would do naturally in a situation you would try and survive. What would you need to survive? Well, you would gravitate towards the foods that nourish you and sustain your life.
Yeah.
Optimally, there may be ways to cheat code or hack the system, biohacking and all that shit. But when you look at from an ancestral, foundational human biology standpoint, what your body needs and what you want or what might make it work better, they're two different arguments. And it's clear people thrive when they cut out all the shit.
Can I just add one more point as well? Because I watched a few of these guys' videos, and everything that he was talking about just didn't make sense. Because now he's talking about triglycerides. He's talking about people that are on a carnivore diet, when they get their blood work and they see that their fasting insulin or their triglycerides are over 100. Now, don't get me wrong. If they're over 100, there's a problem there. But this is what I don't like about the carnivore space. The carnivore space are convinced that if you're on a high-fat diet, you're going to lose weight. Now, that might work for some people, but it won't work for everybody. At the very, very beginning, if you're going from a carb lifestyle and you want to heal, then yes, go on a high-fat diet. But then at some point, you need to track. You know what I mean? And this is why I don't like when I hear people talk about you need to be on a high-fat diet. You need to be eating 200, 300, 400 grams of fat a day in order to lose weight. That's bullshit, guys. Bullshit.
There's all nuance. And what it comes down to, in my opinion, is essential nutrients. Your body requires a specific amount. We can argue what it is. For everybody's different. But if you're getting your essential nutrients, it becomes protein, energy. And if you don't do that properly, that's when you can get into trouble either way. And I mean, if you're getting an energy excess in the form of sugar and carbohydrates, well, we know that's dangerous. The body will tell you. And if you're eating enough fat, you want to be tapping into your potential energy that your body's storing without sacrificing your essential nutrients.
Exactly.
Right. So there's that. Everybody's got this gray area, but we often argue is for you. This is what you should do. And it's like, no, you need to nourish your body. And then you may be able to get some benefits, but it's always changing. Everybody's changing. And
Yeah.
we put these things like, I mean, Jesus Christ, we could have an hour-long debate on how much protein required. Mark, your protein requirements are going to be different than Peter's and mine. And it's like, you know, is it a best guess? That's what I think anyway. Like, you know, I now, being 6 years low carb, 4+ years carnivore, I now can eat with intuition. I can do it.
100%. Yeah.
That's
But
me.
see, that's it. Sorry, Pierre. But see, that's the thing. Like, when you become carnivore and you've started at the beginning, you need to understand where you've started. You're at the very, very beginning. You need to build yourself up. Now, like I said, I've been doing this over 5 years. In 5 years, I put on a lot of muscle mass. So, like Tony mentioned, my level of protein has gone up. My level of fats have gone up. This is why we call it the reverse diet, because you need to do this over a period of time.
Yeah.
You can't just jump into this and expect people to do exactly what I do. Yeah. Like I'm on well over 350 grams of fat a day, probably more. But I'm not expecting somebody who's starting carnivore to be on the same amount of fat as me. It took me time to get to those levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to, what I'm trying to say is you have to find your own threshold.
Sure.
Your own. That's where it comes down to.
Yeah, there's a big difference between, let's say, the person doing household work all day, or the person in office, the one that is doing weight training like you do, Mark, or maybe the person that is doing a lot of endurance exercise as well. And then another thing people maybe don't realize, but for sure also what you eat in the sense of the quality of the food, and the type of foods, and the type of meat, whether you eat fish or whether you eat pork, beef, whether you eat it cooked or raw, this sort of things, it will all have an influence on, no doubt, even the protein composition and the type of fats that you'll get, and all these things, the hormonal responses, who knows what, everything.
And see, that's the most important thing, because this is what he's going on about. He's going on about hormonal, the cortisol, the stress. So I would like to ask this guy that these foods that I used to eat in the past, the carbohydrates, these were actually making me feel like crap. This is what led to me having these mental health issues. So what you're saying is I should ignore how I'm feeling right now, and I should add these foods back in.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's loads of people out there. Don't get me wrong. There's people out there that can tolerate carbohydrates. We know a few of them in the carnivore space. That's fine. If it works for you, that's fine. I'm not arguing against that. But don't be coming on social media and saying that what works for you is going to work for everybody else. Because that's what pisses me off.
Too, Mark, is everybody, like, once you start speaking in absolutes, and that's what I find with all the people that I follow, listen to, trust, and sometimes I don't agree with them. Sometimes I don't agree. But that's the thing, is I try not to speak in absolutes. I try to come into where I fit and what makes sense to me, because there's a lot of nuance to this shit, and there's a lot of different. I mean, but one thing we cannot argue is that our bodies require specific nutrients to function. Now, to be tolerable and optimal, they're all different arguments. And when we get put into this, you know, like I kind of use the Paul Saladino thing. Like, he goes to fruit and honey, and then he tells you need it too. I don't agree with that. I think there might be some room for fruit, maybe even honey in some people's lives. It's not for me. But that's where I'm like, okay, whoa. You know, where your diet sort of comes into. It's like we gotta be thinking it here, where what is good for us, and then, you know, what is good for you are two different.
100%. I mean, Peter's the best person out of all three of us to speak about this, because he's a diabetic.
Yeah.
And this is his argument. He's saying that, listen, you can bring your A1C down, you can lower your blood sugar by eating more carbohydrates. Now, Peter, what do you think about this?
Well, you can do it to some degree, but yeah.
But that's if you're. I presume that's if you're active. I don't think if you're active, you can get away with that.
Yes, or if you accept suboptimal results, so you can go much further than, let's say, what they advise in common medicine practice. So you can go to, say, 5.7 A1C on a high-carb diet, but then your A1C is suboptimal. And what happens inside the cells? I'm curious also.
Okay.
You'll be processing a lot of glucose all of the time.
Well, and
because
here's
you're on a
one thing
carb-rich diet, so.
This is one thing that in my mind is non-negotiable, especially in North America. Grains are not fucking food. Simple.
No.
Simple.
Simple as that. Yeah, simple as
So
that.
you want fruit, honey? I don't care. That's different. That's a different thing. Grains were never meant to be eaten by humans. And the more and more I dig into it, the more and more I find, the more and more they've been bastardized because they can do it. And we've talked about it, stick by design. In my opinion, I know Peter and I kind of differ on this, but I believe this was a planned, calculated thing that's happened for generations, and it's all leading up to now. And, you know, everybody's got a 5-year plan. Well, these people have generational plans. And I think we underestimate their, I don't want to say their evilness, but I'm going to say it. I think we underestimate. We see things from our perspective that we would never do. These people don't care about us. It's obvious. They don't care. They want money, or they want control, or they want, you know, power, whatever it is. That whole stream is headed for you to not be healthy. And if you want to be on the cereal grain train, thinking carbs are great, fiber's awesome, well, let's talk about how your gut's doing. And Jonathan made a good point in the Instagram chat. And it is everything. Your lifestyle, blue light, I think, is a big deal. We're all staring at a screen right now. It's no impressions that it's good for me. It's just necessary, unfortunately, in our modern life. Sunlight, grounding, chemical exposures, social life, all of these things have aspects to your health. So someone who's stressed.
That's what I was going to say. All of these factors, this is what contributes to stress. Yeah. So where do you think that blood sugar, those elevated blood sugar comes from? It comes from lifestyle. It comes from poor choices.
Yeah.
So this is where it all comes down to. So you need to, when you're coming up with this bullshit, you need to define what else happens, because a lot of people in the world now are going through an awful lot of stress at the moment. A lot of stress. And when you look at what people are doing on a daily basis, like you said, Tony, like what Jonathan said, every day scrolling on your phone, sitting down watching TV. You know what I mean? Nobody goes out for a walk. You know what I mean?
I've actually did a little experiment on myself for the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it. We've been clipping out the show to the social media, but I have been trying to stay off Instagram, TikTok, social media for any kind of distractionary purposes. I'm not talking about the stuff I need to do for work or, you know, the podcast editing. I'm talking about just scrolling through, doom scrolling, or whatever you want to call it. But I do breath work. I teach breath work, and I meditate every day. That's me. I do it for me. And I notice when I do two things: don't go on a lot of screen time, and I do those practices, I feel better. So what the hell, man? Do you think my gluconeogenesis is working better? Probably. You know what I mean?
100%.
The stress level changes.
And honestly, and I say this all the time to people around me. I always put these up on my stories. Like, unless I'm working, you will never see me on my phone. Never. Yeah. I couldn't care less what's going on in the world. Yeah. Couldn't care less what conversations are going on in the world. Couldn't care less. And at the end of the day, because I know when my stress levels go up, that's when my blood sugar goes up, and I'm not interested in people's. At the end of the day, if it's not work related, then I couldn't give a shit. I mean, your problems or what's going on in the world doesn't affect me at all.
And I agree.
Well, I cannot say that I'm that far yet, but I try to limit it as well.
Important, and most people, like, all you have to, Charles, good point, because I watch people breathe because I do it for, you know, it's part of my life, and it's frightening to watch these people that have no food in their shopping carts, that can't stand up straight without leaning on the grocery cart, that are laboring for breath, breathing through their mouth, but they're gasping for air.
Yeah.
Now, you want to tell me that glucose? It's like that. No. We got to fix some shit first. But
the gluconeogenesis being stress. I mean, why can't you say it? It's not allowed to say it. If you look at the animal world, all mammals, they have the same endocrine system, the same muscle physiology. It all works the same. Are they in stress because they don't eat carbs? I mean, look at the lion or the wolf. It can sprint and do all those things.
Well,
Every time they do it, they are in stress.
Talking about that, Peter, but that's why we have a nervous system. That's why we have a fight or flight mechanism, is to keep us protected, not be constantly in it, right? Like that's the whole idea. And I think a lot of people don't realize and recognize that diet can affect your nervous system very, very significantly.
Can I just add one more point as well, Tony? That when you're in a stress situation, a lot of people don't even think about what they're eating. They just swallow it. They just eat their food too quickly. You ever notice that? Because that's what I used to do. When I was stressed, I could eat. Like if my anxiety was really, really high, I would eat a meal and I would finish it. I would finish it in 5 minutes.
I mean, that's
when's the last time you see people just sit down with a knife and fork and just take a bite, chew it, and then let it go to the brain, send a signal to the brain, okay, I'm getting full. But when you're stressed, you can eat lots of food very, very quickly.
That ties into mindfulness. Like when you're unconsciously eating whatever, you're not present. You're not there. It's not that. I don't believe that's the way we would have been doing things naturally. It's like that is so far gone. You're thinking about your shit. You're scrolling on your phone as you're choking down your oatmeal. Like that is not good. And it's multifaceted. And I think a lot of people in the chats are talking about this too, is we mostly focus on this show, on this channel, is the diet, nutrition side. But it is multifaceted. I think somebody mentioned in the comments that, yes, there's lots of branches. And when you start feeling better, you start thinking better. And then you become more aware. And then you become more controlled.
Yeah, I'm talking about awareness. Well, you mentioned awareness. And I think it's important also to be aware of the fact that, I don't know, at least 90%, probably even 95% of the things we do during the day are done unconsciously. And so be aware of that fact and reflect back on the day. And what this also shows is that any diet requiring too much effort and thinking is a wrong diet, because we are naturally do everything unconsciously, eating as well. And it makes no sense. And for me, as a type 1 diabetic, it's the same. I mean, I can think like I have to stick to certain eating patterns. If I would eat 1 pound of meat and a certain number of eggs every day again and again, it would work perfectly.
Yeah.
But I cannot do it.
Yeah,
I cannot do it because I'm an intuitive eater.
And we've all said this in the past, that the one thing that came out of this carnivore lifestyle is we're more relaxed about things now.
Yeah.
Like everybody in the carnivore space will probably say the same thing. They're so relaxed. We don't get angry anymore.
To us, Mark. Some people might like, well, relax. No, we just know how to turn it on and off. That's it.
That's all it is. That's all it is. But honestly, that's the biggest factor that came out of it for me, is how mellow I am now. I'm so relaxed. Nothing gets to me anymore. Nothing gets to me anymore. It might be different when you see it on my videos, but if you met me in person, I am so relaxed. Nothing gets to me anymore. Nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, my partner Fleur, she's a hypnotist, and when she describes, because some people freak out about hypnosis, and she's like, well, listen, you're in trance a lot, and what you were saying, Peter, like you're just on cruise control, and she references driving. When you're learning how to drive, you are just like everything's so crazy and going so fast. You learn how to drive. All of a sudden, you can, some people smoke their cigarette, drink their beer, play a CD, do their thing, and they're on the wheel shifting gears. All of a sudden, you can do so much more because and she calls that's your body in a trance state. But are you aware of it? And it's quite, now I'm driving going, oh yeah, hold on a second here. It's quite often I'm not concentrating on anything. I'm just driving, which is interesting because we do that with food. We just navigate through the store going, ooh, look, chips. Ooh, look, let's eat this. I want that today. I'm going to eat that. And then you're eating it. You don't even know why you're doing it. And it's interesting how that whole thing sort of ties into the mindset. And that's a shout out to Brian, man, hunter-gatherer mindset. I love it because that's what it all changes. It's all about the mindset. Boys, I think we had a good run today, man. It was good. I like it. I just want to make an announcement. I'm doing a challenge. If anybody's interested, go to my website, tonystewartcoaching.com/challenge. And I'm going to just go back to basics. It's going to be basically beef, butter, bacon, and eggs with my friends, family, and clients starting on November 15th. If you want to do it with me, I'm all in. For all the people that are carnivore curious or wondering what goes on, your last chance before Christmas is mayhem. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. And I'd love to have anybody who wants to join come and do it. And I learn every time I do this. I do this once or twice a year. It's pretty much what I eat anyway, but it's something, and it just gets me refocused back to what my body needs and what feels good. And I learn something every time.
And the coffee, Tony?
What's that?
What about the coffee?
I'm going to be giving it up, my friend, for that.
Okay.
For that month.
Good man.
Yeah, man. It's what I don't need, but I'm not going to lie. I sure do love the butter. But boys, thanks to everybody engaging in the chats. We had a little bit of an Instagram thing going on. We got like the dual action, and once we apologize for the technical. I think we had some sound things. I don't know what's going on. That's above my pay grade. We're trying, and we have some stuff on the back end for everybody that's following us. We appreciate you. We love you. We're trying to expand, so we're getting our back end sort of dialed in. We've got a lot of interviews in the pipe. I'm just, trying to redo everything and reevaluate it so we can release a bunch of stuff coming out very soon. We still have to do our endometriosis. Ladies out there, men who have ladies that are suffering, we're going to be doing this week of women's hormones, 3 dudes talking about women's hormones and having a bunch of guests. My partner has suffered with endometriosis for 25 years, and I'm going to be reporting first. I'm going to get her on to talk about it. The last 2 cycles, no symptoms, none. The first time in 25 years. So people think that this way of eating doesn't work. Well, come and talk to our household, because I'll tell you what, it's beautiful to watch. But we're going to get our shit together. We're going to get our interviews out. We appreciate all the stories. Anybody who wants to come and talk to us, come on the show, have some fun with us by all means. But I promise you, we will be getting our interviews back online. We're going to have a little powwow after this and talk about some stuff. So, Mark, where do people find you?
Find me on social media, guys, the Fitness Beyond Time 01. And if you want to reach out to me by contact, send me an email at ennismark93@gmail.com.
Peter.
I'm the Dutch Carnivore on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And also on TikTok, can be found as under the name Low Carb Perspective, where I talk a bit more about type 1 diabetes. And I try to bring this channel up again a little bit. So English content about low carb and type 1 diabetes. It will be on YouTube as well later.
Awesome. Thanks, Peter. And I'm doing a challenge. If you want to come and find me on TonyStewartCoaching.com, and if you want to join in on the challenge, it's /challenge. We're making it a go. It'll be fun. Also, I believe Fleur and I are going to start a newsletter. So we're going to be focusing a little bit more organization on this show, what the future episodes entail. That newsletter is going to be part of my community, my clients. I'd love for you guys to be there. It's TonyStewartCoaching.com. And of course, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Tony_Food for Thought. I am doing a big rebrand for my YouTube channel. I'm going to start digging into the deeper side of why we should be doing this, coming from a little bit more of a spiritual, energetic mindset, as opposed to just preaching the science or preaching the norms. I want to get deeper into this on our humanness, which I believe they are stripping away. So, guys, we want to thank everybody in the chats. Thanks for all your questions, comments, and being engaging. We appreciate all of you. And if you can, please support the carnivore community. If you're one of us, you need to be there. This is where those magical conversations happen. It's a great place for everybody, kindred spirits, to talk, hang out. The Carnivore Village is on Instagram. That's where it's more of a chat group. It's kind of hard to keep up to. I love it. It's just lighting up. So well done to you guys. And you can find the Carnivore Community worldwide on YouTube, Instagram. Also, Victoria and Mark, and I believe Lisa's with you guys now, isn't she, with Carnivore Evolution? So the Prairie Carnivores joining Carnivore Evolution crew. That's awesome. They are on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Oh man, I'm trying to think if there's anybody I forgot here, but that's it, boys. Guys, we really appreciate you. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Thanks very much, guys. Speak soon.
See you.